Hello, I'm Joe Dwyer. I'm the political organiser of Sinn Féin here in Britain. I'd like to just begin quickly by passing on Paul Maskey's apologies that he's unable to be here this evening. This is owing to a change in the Supreme Court schedule and prior constituency obligations back in West Belfast. However, he will be over on Wednesday to observe the ongoing Supreme Court case. I've been provided a statement on his behalf to be read to you this evening, although I'll admit I feel a little bit like a understudy who has an not rehearsal. So I'll see how far I get with it, and bear with me, I won't keep you for too long. As many of you will be aware, the Brexit referendum on the 23rd of June, 56% of the people in the north of Ireland voted to remain within the EU. What? This was reiterated subsequently on the 10th of October when the Assembly voted to remain within the European single market. This vote came from both sides of the community, and when broken down, 11 out of 18 constituencies voted to remain. Anyone familiar with the politics in the 6 counties can appreciate that it is a rare issue which receives support from across the political divide. In the months following the vote, we as a party have been approached by business leaders, people from the voluntary sector, community leaders, farmers, trade unionists and ordinary citizens who have genuine concerns about their future. Across the north, there is a growing demand that the vote to remain be respected. The British government's apparent determination to drag the 6 counties out of the EU against the will of the people undermines the progress of the past 2 decades and the very integrity of the Good Friday Agreement, which facilitated the new dispensation in the north and brought about a lasting peace. We believe that any attempt to drag the North out of the EU would represent a fundamental undermining of the spirit of the Good Friday Agreement. It would provide a disastrous and retrograde shift in the relationships on and between these islands. The economic and social impact of all of this has been well rehearsed and is already beginning to play itself out in terms of increased prices, currency fluctuations, investor reluctance, and a disgraceful upsurge in racism and xenophobia. There is huge concern in the north and on the entire island about the economic consequence of Brexit. Brexit poses a threat to the interests of the all-island economy and to Irish workers north and south. It would damage the social dimension of the European project, leading to a social dumping and unfair competition which would inevitably push Irish society further into a race to the bottom. There are said to be nearly 300 formal crossing points along the border, as well as many informal paths and laneways. Every day an estimated 30,000 workers cross between the north and the south. Many do not even realise when they have crossed the border. One of the many benefits of the European Union has been the practical erosion of the visible border in Ireland. The prospect of a new EU frontier stretching from Dundalk to Derry is unpalatable and unacceptable. Ireland cannot be part in and part out of the European Union. It is increasingly clear to us that the British government has neither a plan for Brexit nor cares as to how it will impact Ireland. As a party colleague, John O'Dowd, recently remarked, their approach is becoming increasingly more and more like an episode of Yes Minister, only not as funny. Ultimately, we believe that any decision concerning the future of the people of Ireland should be taken by the people of Ireland and only by the people of Ireland. We do not trust the British government to negotiate on our behalf. The British government is in no position to give any guarantees about the border, free trade or replacing EU funding, because all of that will be subject to negotiation with other EU member states. The only guarantee for those things is for the North to stay within the EU. That is our position, and that is the position of the electorate in the 6 counties. 2 weeks ago, the British-Irish Council met in Cardiff to discuss the times ahead. Illustrative of the complete lack of interest from this British government, Prime Minister May failed to turn up. We believe that this was a missed opportunity for her to directly engage with the very people who were having to face the implications of her government's calamitous action. You can be assured Sinn Féin will enter any negotiations and discussions on the basis of defending the democratic mandate of the people to remain within the EU. We will continue to explore every legal and political pathway open to us to ensure the vote of the 56% is respected. For the people of the North, remain means remain. As far as we're concerned, everything is on the table and all options should be explored. We'd like to thank Another Europe as Possible for facilitating tonight's discussion. We would also appeal to progressive voices here in Britain to support us in our endeavour to keep the North inside the EU. We hope that our message reaches as wide an audience as possible, and we will be more than happy to provide speakers at future events and gatherings. It is clear from the current political upheaval seen across Europe that many people have lost faith in the European project and are deeply opposed to the current status quo. As Republicans, we believe in Europe. However, much like yourselves, we believe that another Europe is possible, and not only is it possible, it is necessary. Radical and progressive reform is needed to ensure that the EU returns to its core principles of a social and caring Europe and a Europe of equals. Democracy at a EU level must be strengthened through an increased role for national parliaments and also for the European Parliament. There has to be greater accountability, transparency and supervision of European policies. This challenge necessitates solidarity and cooperation between those on the left on a cross-European basis. We in Sinn Féin are resolute in the belief that the democratically expressed vote of the North should be respected in all discussions in the time ahead. Our circumstances are unique and there needs to be recognition of that. If not, the implications for our politics, social interaction and economic prosperity are grave. Thank you very much, John and Margaret.
Maybe as well as individual citizenship, we could demand associate regional citizenship for Northern Ireland, Scotland, London and Brighton. Caroline and I work in Brighton and the voters remain. Now I'm going to take a few